All right, a very good morning to you. Karibu sana to our social hour, another episode of Trendsetters with me, Shiko Kaitani. This is the show that we hope is going to inspire you to change community. We're actually featuring a lot of social enterprise on this show. If not, it's going to motivate you to get your hustle on. We're looking for young entrepreneurs and we're always looking for ideas through our social media platforms. FYI, Trendsetters is now on YouTube as Trendsetters Kenya. Look out for some of the amazing features that we have had and posted up on our YouTube channel. And of course, like, subscribe, we would be most appreciative. Kamakawa Kamake at K24 TV is how you can reach us across those platforms: Instagram, Facebook, X. Our WhatsApp number scrolling at the bottom of your screen. And this week we have something fresh for you because we're getting into agriculture. In fact, we're talking about urban farming solutions, and my guest today has made a name for himself in the field of hydroponics, an innovative way of farming that replaces soil with nutrient-rich water solution. So, what does this mean? It is a game changer for small spaces. Please welcome to the show Daniel Wanderi. He is the CEO of Eco Hydroponic Garden. Daniel, welcome. Karibu. I hear this is not your first time on K24. Our agriculture show did a feature on you recently.
Absolutely. Actually, let me generally the Media Max. It was the first media house to believe in this vision and to believe in this idea.
Wow.
And I was featured on one of the stations, that is Kameme TV. And then again,
yes,
2022, I mean 2023 in May, about climate smart agriculture. So I am grateful for the support and I appreciate the partnership we have.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So you had fun with Linda Kosgei.
Oh, yes.
On field, you had a great time with Gitao from Kameme FM and the likes.
Yes.
Okay, Karibu Sana, now you're here on Breakfast on K24, so welcome, welcome. Something else to also mention about Wanderi is that he is the former National Youth Ambassador for Environmental Conservation under the Ministry of Youth Affairs. Tell us how, by the way, you managed to jump into that docket and then now jump into this biashara before we actually get talking about hydroponics.
First, let me say necessity pushes you to be innovative, to create opportunities for yourself. I didn't start here. My background is completely different from what I'm doing currently. Okay. I started off, I was in robotics, education technology, dealing with and also cybersecurity, dealing with integrating education, STEM education. Wow. However, along the way, I saw gaps in between. COVID came, schools are shut, you got a whole year with yourself. Then you got to ask yourself, I mean, what am I doing? I was working for an hour, and then I got another 11 hours. So I got thinking, there are so many things that challenged me. First, the food systems were crashed, all interrupted in a very big way, the lockdowns and all that. And I got thinking, how about urban communities? Before the food comes from Nyandaro, all the way, and then we have a barrier at Limuru because of the lockdown. What if something else build a disease comes? So we have to build a capacity of urban communities to be able to produce their own food. And I piloted and I came up with an idea. I went on YouTube, saw how in countries like Singapore, Malaysia, they're doing farming on malls, on rooftops, big farms. So I went searching around in Kenya and seeing where can I get this. But visiting various organizations, I was not very satisfied. And this pushed me to even think beyond, to be innovative and create a solution, test it, and see whether it works. That is how I made my first tower garden.
Oh, really?
Yes, and on my balcony, actually.
Really? So what we are looking at here on set, this is a tower garden.
This is what you call a tower garden. This is actually a mini tower garden.
It's a mini. Oh, yes, because they actually go all the way to the ceiling.
All the way to 10 feet.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have a mini tower.
This is a mini tower garden. This gives you, this is putting in mind the dynamics of urban communities.
All right.
Because ideally, Nairobi has over 5.5 million people. I mean, we can't be net consumers of food.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, just trying to actually understand what you offer. Yes. Let's understand now from the business perspective, those urban farming solutions. Okay, we can see one that's right here in front of us, but what else is, you know, on the platter? Let me call it that.
This is a big industry. This is a huge industry, because normally there's a perspective aspect. We see these things are done in Europe. Even if you go on YouTube, they are mostly Western technologies. Yeah. And then here we are stuck with traditional ways of doing things. So from that, we got to ask ourselves, what can we do better? How can we change the way we do our things? There's the issue of climate change also. Right. Climate change is causing populations to be displaced. And you may ask, how can we do to mitigate such? If you have food and you're facing a drought or extreme floods, it means with food, even the community has not shattered by those effects. Right. So eventually, I tested these kind of systems to see how do they come in, considering the dynamic lifestyles of the urban communities. Yes. Yes.
So I saw somewhere, you know, from your profile, okay, you have commercial hydroponics, rooftop farming, vertical gardening, balcony farming, hey, okay, hanging gardens, and of course what we have here, which is the tower garden. So just very quickly giving, you know, a description of each, because we would like to actually know, okay, what's the hanging garden?
Yes.
Yeah.
In those categories, looking at urban communities, their way of life, the spaces available to them, number one, the biggest challenge is access to land to do the farming. Right. Then you got to ask yourself, what else? Where else can they do farming? Vertical, we go vertical. Right. We start with a balcony. There are thousands and millions living on apartments. You have a one-bedroom, a bed-sitter somewhere on 50th floor. Yes. You got 1 meter by 3 meters. The question, could you do something? Yeah. This only needs 1 square meters. And you got your vegetables, you got your food there. You're good to go. Safely. Right. Then you may have a space on a wall. You have a perimeter wall. Say you build a house, you have a 50 by 100, you build your bungalow or mansion. The space remaining cannot do much in terms of agriculture. So you come and convert that perimeter wall into another garden. Right. Others have rooftops. You are building a house, you left a good balcony, I mean rooftop there, or maybe it's a tall building, but it is incomplete. You still have that space. Right. That is a resource. Fantastic. I love it. In city spaces is quite a big resource. So we develop rooftop gardens, and then backyard gardens, for example. You have your parking, you have some 3-4 meters around. What could we do with it? Right. We customize those gardens depending on your space. Right. So fitting those spaces. That is how we came with balcony gardens, hanging gardens, wall garden, spiral gardens, and many other that we are about to launch. I'll share in a short while. Absolutely. We'll be seeing some images, and we'll ask our editor to just, you know, put those insights as the conversation is moving along. And I know these may sound like very basic questions, because, you know, it's almost like we're being lazy, either as viewers or even me as the host, trying to understand, okay, what's hydroponics? We can Google it, but I think it comes better well described from someone who's practicing it. So just explain how this system works in the most simplest of ways. Yeah, tell us how this is even working. Like, okay, what's happening here? Very good. Now, hydroponics is simply soilless farming. Okay, soilless farming. Soilless farming. You farm without using soil. Yeah. The question is, what are you going to use if not soil? If not soil, it means a growing media. We have several growing medias. Like we have cocoa peat, we have peat moss, we have pumice stones, like the ones we are using here. Okay. Like on this tower garden, we fill the pumice rocks. These are a variety of volcanic rock that is very porous. Yeah. The pH level is neutral. So it is able to allow oxygen, aeration,
yeah,
hold a little, some water, creating an aquatic environment for the plants to thrive.
Ah, you know, women only know it because we use it in the shower, right? To scrub our feet.
Oh, yes.
That's why we know what pumice stones are.
Exactly. It is the same thing.
Right, it's the same thing but broken down.
Yes.
Okay, ladies, this is what you have in your bathroom, FYI, or at the salon. Yeah, this is what they use to scrub your feet.
Exactly.
Okay, and I didn't know it had such good properties about it.
Yes, it is scientifically proven to be a good media for growing crops.
Right.
So, and actually Kenya has a huge resource in terms of this group. Unfortunately, information gap, we don't have that much knowledge.
Yeah.
So basically on this tower, like in such a tower, we put the growing media inside.
Right.
That's the pumice stones in pebbles.
Yeah.
And then we run a drip system on top of it.
Right.
Such that the nutrients are in the water.
Okay.
They are water soluble. They are mixed in the water soluble, and then they come to the tower garden. They seep all through to the last hole. You don't need anything else.
Wow.
That's enough for the plants to grow.
That is amazing.
Yes.
And when you look at the advantages of it versus what we know traditionally,
conventional farming,
conventional farming, cost-wise, in terms of availability, because not all types of soil are good for farming.
True.
So what are you know, when you think about what you've saved, adopting hydroponics
is actually under climate smart agriculture, a subset called climate smart agriculture. The reason of going soilless is this: we are overcoming several challenges. Number one, you remove 100% of soil-borne diseases, which you could have would have pushed you to use agrochemicals. We are moving from using agrochemicals or synthetic or chemicals to organic. Now you reduce the chances of you using chemicals to control diseases. So with the growing media, there's no soil. All soil-borne diseases are completely removed.
Wow.
Going soil-less also, going vertical also means you will get up to 10 times even more than you would do. Like here we have around 24 plants.
Right.
If you are to plant within the same space, would it fit 24 plants? No. It means you are getting more within the same space, giving the urban communities the solution because of the fact that they don't have too much access to agricultural land.
Right.
Number two is the cost of production. You see, agriculture, in agribusiness, the cost of production is the in thing.
It is, yeah.
You are in agriculture to make business, to make money, as a business. So if you're able to bring down your cost of production, you increase your revenue, increasing productivity in agriculture or in agribusiness.
Right.
You'll never have a budget for weeding.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's cost.
Right.
That's cost.
Yeah.
In terms of water consumption, it uses up to 80% less water compared to conventional farming.
Right.
By the time you do this on the soil or you run a drip system, two ways you lose water: infiltration, evaporation.
Right.
These are an enclosed system. So we do what is called precision feeding.
And it's direct to where you want it.
And to where you want it, and to precisioning this in terms of nutrient levels, like that.
Right, all that is controlled.
All that is controlled. Time.
Yeah.
You are a journalist. You need a kitchen garden. You still take your dinner in the evening. Facts. So what do you do? With your nice makeup, your heels, your nails, and all that. What you need to do with such. You don't soil yourself.
Right.
You don't need gumboots.
That's
or an overall like
I know. I need to be harvesting my spinach with scissors.
So you'll just come, just open your drips for just 5 minutes before you sleep. Sorted. And you got your veggies.
That's true.
Assume you have things like salad.
Yeah.
You eat fresh. Fresh.
Right.
Lettuce, for example. Is it lettuce or lettuce, whatever? My English teacher
Depending on which school.
Nandaro is very far. So you just pluck your leaf of your lettuce hapa, you put it your sandwich on your breakfast, fresh, organic.
Right, and you can brag about your garden.
Safety first.
Yeah.
You may have the money to buy
in
in grocery supermarkets. However, do you have what is called traceability of all the chemicals, all fertilizers that have been? You don't.
And that's such a good point. You know, the world has shifted to, you know, going organic.
Yes.
Everything organic now is what's selling,
yes.
you know. But one of the big questions that even nutritionists are asking is, even if yes, it is organic, can you trace where that food has come from? You're just, you know, getting stuff from Mama Mboga,
yes.
and we believe by the way Mama Mboga stuff is more fresh, even if you went here to Ngara. But
yes.
does the woman who's selling you that stuff know where the vegetables and how they were grown?
She went to Marikiti,
yes,
took her stock, took to the kibanda,
right.
you came there, probably.
Yes.
There are so many stories we have seen where
crazy stories.
People are growing, people are just greedy to make money,
right.
are using sewage,
right.
chemicals,
human waste,
all manner of things.
Yes.
But with this kind of farming, even if you are limited,
yes.
you are on an apartment, we understand the urban lifestyle, but there are ways to accommodate you. Hence, going this way.
And I mean, okay, this has nothing to do with the conversation, but I'm just thinking about the human waste that was passing through the shamba I saw in Lakisama. And don't ask me why those vegetables are this big. Like when you talk about leafy vegetables, that leaf was this big.
Yes.
Done. So I'm like, wow, human poop is very nutritious. But I mean, it's just the idea of it. It's terrifying knowing that there are some farmers who don't have such practices. Yes. So it's good to know where your food is coming from.
And you see that contamination moves to the value chain. The effect is lifestyle diseases, cancers, tumors, I don't know what.
Yes.
But diet, it all comes back to lifestyle.
It is.
It is quite a huge social issue, not just a social issue. It becomes an economic issue because when you have several people sick with lifestyle diseases, their productivity is low. The economic development is affected.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the net effect is quite negative.
And how did you feel about this whole fertilizer saga when you saw it and you're just like, what? If we could only adopt different ways of farming.
I almost cried on my bed because you see, there are people with options, the others with limited options.
Right.
You see? So it's very scary how we as human beings could go to just make money without care, and this is messing up a whole generation.
Correct.
For example, if we mess a whole season, it means in the next couple of months, despite the flooding or the rains, we will still have a food security issue. We are now again running issue, famine, hunger, what and all that.
Right.
So it's quite complicated. It's very discouraging, let me say. It's very discouraging.
Well, we just want to remind our viewers that, by the way, you can throw in your questions by DMing me as Shiko Kaitani on my socials. Also through our platforms, K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, as well as X. I did tease this particular discussion on social, so I'll be throwing some questions to you from some guys on Instagram. I think we had one from Twitter, or X rather. Yes. So we'll get to that in just a few. But speaking about the towers, for example, right? Something like this, can it accommodate more than one crop?
Yes, absolutely.
I can grow, I don't know.
Actually,
first of all, what is this? This is skuma.
This is skuma and spinach.
Okay, so you've got two of them.
Yes. And then we got purple cabbage here. And then we got more skuma there.
So does it mean that you have to classify them?
You don't have to classify. Vegetables, feeding patterns of all vegetables are almost the same.
Okay.
You mix up to 6 varieties.
Oh, wow.
1 tower gardens of 5 feet tall comes inclusive of seedlings of your choice. You mix up to 6 varieties. You may have spring onions here. You may have kales, spinach, some lettuce, some strawberry, whatever. You mix because the feeding program is almost the same.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Fantastic. I love it. Okay. Now we've talked about, of course, how the thing works.
Yes.
I think there are kind of restrictions, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, in terms of what edibles can grow using hydroponics.
Yes.
Are we limited, or are you talking about anything under the sun? I mean, if you want to grow a dragon fruit, it will grow here. If you want to put apples, it's going to grow here. If you want to put spinach here, it will grow. So what are some of the things that you say, oh, no, that is not recommended for this type of vegetable?
This type of farming is good for for vegetables.
Only, okay.
Yes, vegetables value chain, because we go, and some fruits, these small fruits like strawberries, berries like. Fruit trees can do, because one, the spacing, like pipes use 4 inches pipes, and these 6 inches pipes to make towers. So it means any crop that has a taproot, we cannot be able to do it. Not that it can't grow hydroponically, we are just limited by the materials that we use. But if you had a huge container and you plant a mango tree there,
or a lemon tree, it will actually grow.
It will still grow. As long as you feed it, you provide the right nutrients. The issue is not growing hydroponically, but in terms of now the solutions themselves, which varieties of crops you could do. Very good for vegetables.
Yes. Okay. And also, we do have 7 minutes to go. I understand that from my director for the first half. But another question also in regards to how to care for, let's say now, your tower or whatever you got, your vertical garden. I'm sure there's some etiquette, you know, etiquette practices or rules around it. So how do you care for your balcony garden, for example? Because someone can have this at home and then thinking, okay, so then now, do I have to keep calling Daniel to come fix it?
No, actually it's a very, what we do is usually capacity building. Such that you are independent, and then we integrate with whatever else you have in your farm. Say you have some chicken, you got some dairy farm, you got anything else. We integrate it with these hydroponics. Management is very easy. And this, back to our earlier point, this is considering the lifestyle of the urban communities. Shiko, you don't have an hour every day, 30 minutes to go and take care of your kitchen garden. Fact, you can't do it.
That's true,
even as much you would love to do it, you can't. Now, management is very easy. It comes inclusive of a drip system. First is to ensure there is water flowing through the system. And it comes with a tank such that you can refill a tank probably once a month, once a week, depending on the size of the tank. In terms of scouting, just scout for pests if they are pests. However, in terms of pests, it's not much of a challenge, because vertical, you remove much of access of pests from the soil, from the ground. So management is very easy. Very easy, as long as you have that information. And the first thing we do is, once we install a tower garden to your place, we are with you until you make your first harvest. Then you can say, you no longer need, I no longer need you. I feel now I can walk on my own. So
there's a colleague here who's just messaged me and told me, na kama una maji tutafanya nini?
Maji lazima ikue. Kama unaoga kuna maji. Kama unaoga, there's no way you can. This thing consumes 1 tower garden of 48 grow holes, double this size. Consumes between 1 liter and 2 liters a day. You can't tell me there's no water. If you had same 48 grow holes, 48 plants planted on the ground, you'll probably need 20 liters a day or more than that. So you cannot miss 2 liters max a day to manage your. You just ensure the bucket you're using to shower, just deduct 1 liter and use for your kitchen garden. It's simply saying uses up to 80% less water compared to conventional farming. So if this you cannot manage this, it means we're in agriculture.
Kuna vile. All right, we'll be talking about you know, ways in which we can do more to encourage, especially the youth, to kind of pick this up. But as we get to that commercial break, I think this is also interesting to bring up the fact that things have changed within households. People are more woke to beautifying their spaces and creating kind of very comfort zones for themselves. And that goes towards having house plants, for example. Whether they are there to either give some sort of benefit to, you know, to you as an individual, because there are some that have apparently healing properties, or they're just there to make your apartment look good. Can hydroponics be a solution to having, you know, house plants, for example?
I It's called ornamental garden.
Ornamental, yes.
We are actually about to launch a department in
oh,
that
wow.
case, because
yeah.
Let us use these towers. Now, in your head, remove the vegetables.
Okay.
You have a very good environment, a very good compound.
Yeah.
And you want to do, instead of doing bougainvillea along the path,
yeah.
why don't you do mini towers, these sizes or shorter,
yeah.
and you put either berries, some flowers or something.
Yes.
So the answer is yes.
Right.
And also indoor plants.
Right, indoor
for
plants,
ornamental. And even as you look at the tower, even
yes.
without flowers or anything else, itself, it is achieving two things, food production and an aesthetic value.
Isn't it?
Yes,
I
because
love
it is customized to the color of, say, you are coming to your compound,
yeah.
your color theme is green.
Yes.
You can choose the green to be to align with the color theme of your compound.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it becomes an ornamental garden,
yeah.
built just food production. Yes.
All right, we'll be talking more about the benefits of this type of urban farming solution. I think we are already loving the idea of hydroponics. It almost makes you want to go home and start thinking, what changes do I need to make in this house? But by the way, keep talking to us through our social media platforms. We want to take that short commercial break. We'll see you in just a bit. And welcome back to our Trendsetters on K24 with me, Shiko Kaitani. We're having a great time in studio with Daniel Wanderi. He is the CEO of Hydroponic Garden. We're learning a little bit about this technology, this innovation that's changing and making waves as far as farming is concerned. Numerous benefits from what Daniel is letting us know this morning, as well as understanding how the technology could be of use to you despite the space that you're working with. In fact, he's inspiring very many of us this morning to actually get working on our outdoor spaces, on our indoor spaces. Very many of us, even if we are still going higher in these concrete jungles, you could be on the 4th floor, 3rd floor, 1st floor. Wherever you are, there's definitely something you can do to either beautify your space or to feed your family with. Daniel, am I right?
Correct, 100%.
Okay, so welcome back to the show. I had told you earlier on that we had thrown this out as a teaser on socials. I got a Jessica Chesang who wrote this, and she said, I have always been curious to know about hydroponics. I understand that this innovation is even better for farming. Now, what makes hydroponic plants grow faster? Thanks for the topic. Do they?
They do.
Oh, okay.
In some instances, some crops mature earlier by up to 40%. Because one, this is one number one. We said it's precision feeding, and then it's a controlled environment. You feed the plant what is scientifically required to be fed to the plant, meaning there's no chances. You see, in the soil, conventional farming, unless you are doing precision soil test, at times you miss bits and pieces of things. You find there are deficiencies here and there. Yes, and also hydroponics, plants are able to absorb nutrients quicker, like compared to the soil.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So leading to early maturity.
Fantastic.
And actually increased production. Yes.
And that's what we want, especially if you're doing this commercial.
Yes.
Kilan 001, I'm assuming from Mombasa, that's what the 001 is for. You kind of alluded to this, you know, during the first half of the show, but anyway, let's take this question. What are the advantages of hydroponic farming? If the difference isn't that great, then perhaps traditional farming works just fine.
Interesting, but we can break it down both ways. Conventional farming, once assume we are doing, let's do a mentor project, agricultural project. Number one, land preparation. Costs on conventional farming. I have no costs on hydroponics, on land preparation. Once we plant, before you harvest, you make your first harvest, say you are doing vegetables or say kales or broccoli or whatever. Like broccoli, by 3-4 months, you have weeded twice, bare minimum. I have no that cost. So the cost of weeding, water consumption, it is a cost. I use up to 80% less water. I use 100 liters, I use 20 liters. If you are to buy that water, I will pay for it. You spend more. Cost of labor. I will only need to take a couple of minutes in the morning or in the evening, whatever time. I open my drip system on for a few minutes, get to ensure that water, the bottommost hole has access to water. Ends there. If you are doing conventional farming, you have either you have a drip system, or if you are doing it manually, time. Labor cost. So the cost of production is bigger in conventional farming than in hydroponics. Someone doing hydroponics would sell their products, probably they would earn more revenue if you are to sell, grow the same crop, same time frame, same market, same price. The hydroponics guy will get more revenue. The cost of production for him was less compared to conventional farming. And then on the preceding season, say you harvest. On the soil, you'll have to again prepare the land. Still a cost. For me, I'll just pluck off my harvest from my system and then insert another seedling. Ends there.
Wow.
So
I love it. I love it. Such a challenge. OT from Kisumu. Oh, again, this one almost sounds like a repetition, but of course, you know, we appreciate everyone who texted in. So let's just take the time either way to address them. Someone says, thanks for the information, or informative session. Thank you very much, OT. I wonder, should one get a hydroponic system? Does one need regular maintenance by professionals? In this case, Eco Hydro Gardens. I like what he's called your company, Eco Hydro Gardens. Yeah,
we love it.
Yeah.
OT. Yeah. This is a maintain. What do I say? You have very low maintenance cost. Why? You don't need a pump. Because hydroponics, you go online, you go on YouTube. The solutions you find online, they use pumps. That is a cost on power. But what we have done is to improve from customize that Africanize, let me just use that term, Africanize, because you don't expect someone in Kenya or in Africa to pay for power to power his kitchen garden. It's unheard of. Right. So maintenance is zero. Except managing the crops, because once you install the system and you have the water running from the tank to the drip system, your work is to manage the garden. You don't need either to repair pumps or check whatever. No, your work is manage the plants. Once you harvest, plant again. This is low, zero, absolutely zero, let me just say. Unless maybe there's no package, there's no machine involved. Yes, they're just pipes with the growing media inside and the plants. Yes.
Tell me something. You know, this is an age-old question, because for forever, even those who have been in the agricultural space, it has been kind of slow to get the youth, young people interested in farming. But when it comes to innovations such as this, you wonder why it wouldn't be so appealing to the youth to be like, okay, I want to learn more about that. What more do you think we can do to increase the uptake and the interest?
Allow me to use myself.
Yes.
I never thought in any part of my life I will ever do agriculture. I was this guy, go to school, get good grades, get a white collar job. I've been a consultant all my life. Wow. Ever since I left university. So what we need to do is make agriculture attractive, because I wouldn't have touched, even if you provided 10 acres of land. For me, I thought that is where poverty begins. Right, it's a huge, exactly. It's a huge misconception that agriculture is not productive. I mean, it's not a good economic activity. But I can say, young people, this is the future. And I can confidently, I quote Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa. Right. He has said, last year he said that the future billionaires will not come in from the oil and gas industry. Absolutely. They are coming from agriculture. Wow. Yes.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
That is the truth. Yes. And look at where we are heading in terms of food. Right. Every single day, the food prices are going up because producers are diminishing every day.
Because you want to sit in your offices.
Exactly. We all want to go, we all want to be in our offices. Right. Yeah. So what we need to do as a country or as a society is show the young people that it's not a wasted career. Correct. Let me give you my example. Before I started Eco Hydroponics, I was working as the head of business strategy for an American robotics company, dealing with the entire of Africa as the head of business strategy. Yeah. But when I ventured, I was not actually doing this for business. I have naturally an innovative mind. My curious mind wanted to, how could I do this? Right. So I posted on social media and I got a call. I mean, could we feature you on TV? And I'm like, how? I have done other things more complicated in IT, in robotics.
No one is like...
Nobody gives a damn about them. But when it came to agriculture, it actually gave me 3 times more than I was earning.
No way.
What do you do? Yes.
More visibility.
More visibility.
More money coming in.
More money coming in. And also that freedom. Yeah. I can go to the office when I want. Yeah. I can work when I want. Yeah. I wanted to be my own boss. Yes. And at the same time, create jobs for my fellow young people.
That's so good.
Right now I have a team of young people.
Yeah.
I'm working with a team of youths.
Yes.
Because as you can see, I have them.
Yeah,
so
they actually shout out to everyone.
There's trickle-down effect
yes.
In agriculture. It's a big opportunity, but do it innovatively. Do it in a more modern way. We're in 21st century.
Right.
So
what a lot of people don't even understand is how, if you're in the tech space, you can literally get a job anywhere, including agriculture. Just talk about how technology has become such a vital aspect to agriculture, and the people who are watching, the young guys who are in these techie spaces and thinking, oh yeah, you know, I mean AI, but where does AI and agriculture zinashikana wapi? Would you like to educate us a little bit and tell us how tech is changing the world today, including in agriculture, in food production?
Very good question. Technology. I am here because some technology threw the word out. And people got to know we exist. It starts there. Access to information. If you have to be, not just in agriculture, in any career or in any field, you got to empower yourselves with information. The first plus for technology is to give us information, good information that can help us become creative, innovative. Another thing is how doing technology. It's very good once you create a solution to get that, to commercialize that solution. Like this solution, if I created this and there was no platform like Facebook or TikTok. Currently we have been trending for the last 3 days and I feel happy on TikTok. So you're able to push your idea out and get feedback, where to correct. It's a journey you got to walk. But with the technology, it is easier. Where could I have met Shiko today? I mean, I don't know. But with technology, you're able, I mean, you as you scroll online, on X, on whatever platform, they're all tech-based. And again, there is future in integration of technology. Everything you see here, we have an automated version
of it. Wow. Did you see the young guys who came up with how to help farmers take their produce to bulking centers? And just with that, there's an app, they're on a database, and they receive their money through M-Pesa. And everything is calculated, and they can actually just look through a database to see how many liters of milk wameangusha, how many kgs of their pili-pili. And this thing has gone, I mean, not even just nationwide, I mean, it's all over the world. And you see how there are young guys going, huko mashinani, just to start up all these bulking centers through technology. It's amazing.
And
it's
then
amazing.
With the technology, you see such a tower, we can even remove the growing media and use it without the growing media. And circulate the water. Use a pump. Integrate it with robotics, such that it's the AI you're talking about. If you are growing capsicum, we can integrate with robotics, harvesting, making sure pH levels are right, moisture levels are right. So we'll be launching some of these. Like right now, if we wanted to have a tech integrated in these towers, we could. We only need to integrate a moisture sensor, pH sensor there, and they will send all that information to our platform.
Fantastic. And you're just looking at it from your device. Just from your device.
Imagine.
I imagine, like, you know, you think about how far we've come when our grandfathers were depending on Leo tunaonaje?
I remember one time. let me make you laugh one time. When I was in Form 2, my mom told me one time, let's go to the farm, and I was having a kind of tug of war with her because I was arguing with her. Why? I mean, what is this that you are showing me that is different from what I saw from my grandmother? And she laughed at me and told me, life will teach you. She never thought I would do agriculture, but now in a more modern way, in a more creative way, in a more productive way.
I mean, every era has its own development. I mean, when the tractor came out, that was an advancement.
True.
Today now, yes,
exactly.
we have something else. Okay. All right, Daniel, we hear you loud and clear, and I hope people are actually very inspired, as I am, to get their farming journey started. Let's get some of your top tips for agripreneurs. See, nowadays, that's what you guys call yourselves, the agripreneur. So
we are not farmers, kindly. We are not.
You're agripreneurs.
Agripreneurs.
Okay, yes. Sawa mkulima.
Of course. Just nita mkulima. Nita mkulima digital. Tafadhali.
But that's a thing. Actually, you should put that. Yeah. Yes. Mkulima digital. I love it. So for the Wakulima digitals watching the show, what are your top tips for them that you have kind of your life lessons or your hard lessons through this journey that you want to share?
Number one.
Yeah.
Be creative.
Yeah.
Be innovative.
Yeah.
Don't just follow. Be curious to learn new ways, new things. Number two, don't be afraid to try it out.
Yeah.
If I didn't try to come up with a tower garden, I couldn't be here. 3 years down the line, it's a running business.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
So number one, creativity and innovation.
Right.
Be at the top of your mind. Number two, tests.
Yeah.
Try it out. Be ready to accept that failure. If you want to learn, you're trying. Number three, be persistent. Persevere. Agriculture is, I mean, before this thing you make your first harvest, you are waiting for 5 weeks.
Only 5 weeks?
Only 5 weeks.
And that's like a lifetime for someone who's 21. It's like, what do you mean?
We are an instant generation. An instant generation, you want coffee. Coffee maker.
Right.
Done.
I know.
Perseverance, patience.
Right.
Again, do your research. Don't grow something blindly.
Yeah.
Especially if you are doing it for it's agribusiness.
Yes.
Do your homework. Do your research. Do your research well.
Right.
Grow high value crops. Yeah? And then give yourself information.
Yeah.
Do research, get tips, get to learn how Israel is doing it differently. You might be growing strawberries, but you're doing it in a more, have a community, have a mentor who can get to learn. Yeah. Have that hunger for knowledge in agriculture.
Right.
You will succeed. There will be no option but to succeed.
Wow, fantastic. Yes. I think as we're starting to wrap up and just saying goodbye to Daniel, one of the things that we always like to ask on Trendsetters is where the sweet spot is for entrepreneurs, for people who are in social enterprise. So for you, what's the sweet spot? What gives you complete and total satisfaction about this job, Daniel?
I get a lot of gratification when I am able. When I started to create this, my focus was on the lower candle of societies, the Kibra population, the Mukuru population, because I had in my life I spent some time in a slum, so I have them lower urban communities in mind, so that my gratification comes when I empower a household. They were not able to feed themselves, but now they can just get out there, get some veggies, they can eat. You have saved a whole generation, a whole family. When I create an employment, there are groups of youths that we are supporting in terms of to start agribusiness projects, employment. When I hear someone is working along this line, I get a lot of gratification, jobs, empowering the most needy communities in the society. So I am into that social aspect of this project. Yes.
Right. Okay. I mean, I wish you all the best. I don't know if you want to share a few of your expansion plans, especially how you're going to be integrating this innovation in communities and areas, by the way, that are famine stricken, that have quite a number of climate issues ongoing. How can you be a problem solver, so to speak?
Perfect. Now, we got very we have been in the kitchen for the last couple of months, cooking good things. Good things for our people, for our clients, for our fans.
Yeah, not just your skooma.
Not just the skooma, because this is just a starting point.
Right.
We are launching more products.
Okay.
We are about to launch, like I told you, products ornamental gardening.
Okay.
Made of bamboo. for your information.
Whoa, yes. That's going to be nice.
Very nice gardens for bamboo.
I'm getting one.
Yes. And also we're also setting up a very, we are setting up in an acre of land along Eastern Bypass. We are about to set up a very big demo farm, a good demo farm with container gardens, different types of technologies in there, vermiculture, BSF farming, all those things, as a learning center really, so that we can take the information out. So we do the research, we test, we fail, we learn. Once we perfect, people have a place they can come.
Fantastic.
So very soon we are going to launch that thing. And then I was happy when this day was named Mazingira. We now have Mazingira Day because we are talking about climate smart agriculture. So we are going to have programs for schools. Because what we are doing, interestingly, it is in the competence-based curriculum. One of the assessments for last year, second term for grade 5, was innovative gardening. Grade 5. So what we are doing, we are going to work with a lot of schools so that whatever information, whatever knowledge we can be able to pass a generation, we mentor. And the 4K clubs was redeemed. I mean, it was relaunched a couple of years, 2-3 years ago. So there are groups of 4K clubs. One of the thematic areas is environmental conservation. So we want to have a platform where the youths, women, anyone who want to learn about modern ways or hydroponics, they'll have a platform to do that. And then we'll also have an app, so that we can integrate all these things. And then we're also spinning off a sister company called EcoFresh, that, for example, you overproduce. You are an urban farmer, you have 5 towers. You are not able to finish that kind of produce with your one kid and a husband. You see, the excess, through the EcoFresh, we are able to offtake from the urban farmers. So we got a lot of plants. And we can tell our people, keep following Eco Hydroponics. Yes, we are on Facebook, Eco Hydroponic Gardens. We are on Twitter, Eco Hydroponic Gardens. We are big on TikTok, Eco Hydroponics. You can check us out.
Wow, fantastic. We want to wish you all the best as you continue to create your footprint, you know, as you go along. This is amazing. But before we go, this is a fun part of this interview that I actually want to complete the show with Daniel. What's your take on Maua Expressway?
Niliwaambia wanipatie, niwalimie mboga nikuwe nawapelekea.
I had to throw that in because the first thing when these things came in, I just thought expressway.
It was, you see, it was a very brilliant idea.
What
and
went
still
wrong?
Is management. Management. It's a beautiful idea.
I think people like you get traumatized when you're driving through and you're just like, the expressway makes you pissed off.
We are mentally tortured by, you see, I mean, these are value. This is value. We are can able to make this flourish in a very big way. So, that was nice, that was brilliant, but you got to get everything right.
And as we finish, by the way, I am so going to take a dig at Gava for this one, okay? Because this show is about having fun. I'm dedicating Maua.
Oh, yes.
Maua, Expressway.
Oh, yes.
Maua. We have to play Terence Creative, Awinja, and Mamito because they actually aced that song when they said, what happened to the Maua?
To Maua, watupatie Maua tulime. In fact, my concept was, I had this idea, and if I had the opportunity, I would have grown veggies and given them to the homeless. See,
that's why we have shows like this. Can we leave that, by the way?
We grow along the way. We feed the chokos, we feed the street families. I mean, it's a win-win.
Maua
ya barabara na kuna vile.
Thank you, Daniel. Bless you. Say goodbye as we
goodbye.
As we sing along. Yes, bye-bye. I love that jam. Maua.